The void trembled as the heavens split open, and Solana watched in silence as a burning star streaked across the night sky. Her heart thudded as she whispered, "That's no ordinary fall." The station alarms screamed as Dr. Elric shouted, "Brace for impact. This energy signature is unlike anything recorded." Lyra gripped the console, her voice sharp. "We should claim it before anyone else arrives." Solana's hands clenched, haunted memories flashing in her eyes. She muttered, "Power like this destroyed my world once before." A transmission crackled, Kalen's cold tone slicing through. "The star belongs to me, and anyone who stands in my way will burn." Elric's face hardened, his compassion turning to dread. He said, "This is bigger than faction, Solana. This is survival." The command deck shook violently as the impact hit the nearby desert surface, throwing them to the ground. Dust rained from the ceiling as Ori cried, "What if it destroys everything?" Solana forced herself up, her voice steady but heavy. "Then it's my burden to decide whether it saves us or ends us all." The fallen star pulsed outside, casting shadows of fire across the galaxy's edge, a silent promise of salvation or annihilation. Solana steadied her breath, forcing the fear from her voice as she turned to her crew. She said, "We must reach the impact site before Kalen does." Elric frowned, shaking his head. "You know he will stop at nothing, Solana." Lyra's tone cut through, "That's why we need to be faster." Ori whispered, "What if we can't control it?" Solana closed her eyes briefly, memories of past failures gnawing at her. She muttered, "Then I'll ensure no one uses it to destroy again." Outside the window, the crater burned like a second sun, daring them to claim its secret. The shuttle bay roared to life as engines powered up. Solana fastened her belt, her eyes distant. Elric said softly, "The galaxy has placed its trust in you once more." Lyra smirked faintly, concealing her true intent. Ori clutched a small charm, whispering, "Please don't let this be the end." Solana's voice steadied, "We'll confront whatever waits in that crater." The bay doors opened, exposing the infinite desert night, and the falling star's glow beckoned them into destiny. The shuttle shook violently as it descended, heat streaks glowing against reinforced hull. Elric shouted, "The energy is destabilizing the air itself." Solana gritted her teeth. "Keep steady, we must reach it." Lyra muttered under her breath, "If it doesn't tear us apart first." Ori screamed as turbulence threw them sideways, but Solana forced the shuttle level. Her voice echoed with fierce resolve. "This star chose to fall here, and I will not let it be Kalen's weapon." The shuttle landed in a storm of dust and fire. Solana stumbled out onto the desert floor, her boots sinking into heated sand. The crater loomed, its heart glowing with impossible brilliance. Elric whispered, "This is the power of creation and destruction." Lyra's eyes gleamed with hunger, though she masked it behind forced calm. Ori clung to Solana's arm, trembling. Solana's voice shook but did not break. "We stand at the edge of fate. Either we claim it with wisdom or it consumes us all." The star pulsed louder, like a beating heart beneath the desert night. The crater pulsed like a living wound as Solana stepped closer, her breath sharp in the scorching night. Elric muttered, "This energy hums with intent." Lyra forced a grin. "Intent or not, we must seize it before Kalen does." Ori clung to Solana's arm, trembling. "It feels alive, like it's watching us." Solana steadied her voice, though her hands shook. "We approach with caution, not greed." A sudden vibration shook the ground, a wave of blue fire rippling across the sand. Elric shielded his eyes, whispering, "It's resonating with us." Solana thought of her past failure, the firestorm that destroyed her first command. She said, "I will not repeat the mistakes that cost us everything." Lyra's eyes gleamed with hunger despite her nod. Ori whispered, "But what if it chooses Kalen?" In the distance, Kalen's forces were already moving, their silhouettes glowing in the night. Solana straightened, fire in her eyes. "Then we will make sure he never reaches it alive." The roar of engines cut through the night as Kalen's warships descended, their shadows swallowing the desert floor. Solana's voice hardened, "Prepare defenses. We can't let them take the star." Elric touched her shoulder, his tone grave. This is not a simple battle, Solana. This is a war for the galaxy's soul. Lyra adjusted her weapon, smirking. War or not, I'll fight until their blood stains the sand. Ori's lips trembled, but we can't match Kaelin's power. Solana's eyes burned with steel. Power is nothing without resolve. The crater's light surged, answering their tension with violent pulses. Elric whispered, "It feels like it's feeding on conflict." The desert air thickened as Kaelin's soldiers marched closer, weapons gleaming. Solana raised her hand, her voice shaking yet fierce. "We fight together. If we fall as guardians, not thieves." Kaelin emerged from his dropship, tall and unyielding, his scarred face lit by the pulsing star. He raised his hand, voice thundering, "The star is mine, and those who defy me will be forgotten." Solana's heart pounded, but she stepped forward, her voice steady. "You will not twist this gift into a weapon." Kaelin smirked. "Gift? No, Solana. It is destiny, and destiny favors the strong." Elric called out, "Power without wisdom consumes all." Kaelin's soldiers aimed their rifles, and the desert air turned heavy with dread. Ori whispered to Solana, "Please don't let him win." Lyra's grip tightened on her weapon, her eyes darting between Kaelin and Solana. The star's pulse quickened, casting violent shadows across the sand. Solana raised her chin. "If destiny is at stake, then I choose to rewrite it." Kaelin's laugh echoed like thunder, and the first shot rang out across the night. Blaster fire ripped across the desert, tearing into the sand as Solana's team dove for cover. Elric shouted, "We cannot hold against this firepower." Solana's voice cut through the chaos. "We make our stand here." Lyra fired back with precision, a glint of satisfaction in her eyes. Ori cowered, clutching her charm, whispering prayers. Kaelin's forces advanced steadily, their discipline unbroken. Solana pulled Ori close, whispering, "Your hope is stronger than their guns." Elric shielded them, sparks ricocheting from his shield emitter. The star pulsed violently, sending shockwaves that knocked soldiers off their feet. Kaelin steadied himself, his voice booming. "It answers only to me." Solana spat. "Then it answers to no one." The ground cracked beneath them, glowing veins of blue energy splitting the desert open. Elric gasped, "It's awakening." Solana clenched her jaw, "Then we awaken with it." The dust cleared briefly, revealing Kaelin striding through the chaos, untouched by fear. He growled, "You are weak, Solana, just as you were when your command burned." Her chest tightened at the memory, but she stood tall. "I survived, Kaelin, and I learned what strength truly means." Elric shouted, "Do not let his words define you." Lyra's eyes flickered with hidden thought as she fired again. Ori gripped Solana's hand tightly, whispering, "We believe in you." Kaelin sneered, "Belief cannot stop the inevitable." Solana's voice rose, unwavering. "Belief reshaped empires, Kaelin, and it will shatter you." The star roared with violent light, shaking the ground beneath them all. For the first time, Kaelin faltered, his eyes narrowing as he turned toward the crater. Elric whispered in awe, "It responds to her." Solana clenched her fists, "Then I will decide its fate, not him." The desert winds howled as silence replaced the battle. Solana gazed at the fractured earth, the crater glowing with unstable light. Elric whispered, "The star waits for us, yet it punishes greed." Lyra cleaned her rifle, smirking faintly, "Then let's not hesitate. Hesitation kills." Solana glared, rushing feeds its hunger. A faint figure approached from the shadows, cloaked and deliberate. Ori clung to Solana's arm, her voice trembling. "Who's that?" The stranger lowered her hood, revealing Seraphine, her voice smooth and enigmatic. "I warned others, but they ignored me. You may still survive." Elric frowned, suspicion lacing his tone. A shadow benefactor at a time like this is no coincidence. Solana studied Seraphine. "Why risk yourself now?" Seraphine smirked, "Because Kaelin is not the only one who knows what sleeps here." The crater pulsed violently, sand lifting into the air as if gravity itself bent. Solana muttered, Then every ally and every truth matters now. Inside a hidden cavern revealed by the quake, walls shimmered with alien carvings glowing faint blue. Elric ran his fingers across them, whispering, ancient warnings, long forgotten. Solana traced the shapes, they tell of choice, salvation, or ruin. Lyra scoffed, or power waiting to be seized. Seraphine's eyes narrowed, power devours the unworthy. Ori's voice broke softly, but what if no one is worthy? Solana knelt, her voice steady. Then we must become worthy together. The walls vibrated as though alive, symbols shifting like flowing rivers. Elric's eyes widened, the star communicates. Lyra rolled her eyes, muttering, or manipulates. Seraphine leaned closer, whispering, it tests your heart, not your strength. Solana stared at the glowing chamber, her voice quiet but resolute. Then it will know mine. Outside, Kaelin's forces drew nearer, and the cavern trembled as destiny pressed closer. A sudden cry echoed deeper within the cavern. Rin stumbled forward from a narrow passage, his body scarred, eyes hollow with trauma. Ori gasped, he's hurt. Solana rushed to steady him. You've survived what others could not. Rin coughed, voice raspy. I escaped the darkness beyond this world. The star calls to what it has already touched. Elric studied him with concern. You've seen things we cannot imagine. Rin's haunted gaze fell on the glowing runes. I've seen entire fleets consumed. Lyra frowned. Then why crawl back here? Rin replied coldly, because no one believes until it's too late. Seraphine's smile thinned. Perhaps you arrived exactly when needed. Solana held his arm firmly. Then help us understand before Kaelin claims it. The cavern shook violently, dust falling, as if the star itself responded to Rin's truth. The cavern air thickened as Rin described his nightmare. The star's echoes twisted life into shadows, he rasped. Ori clutched Solana's sleeve, whispering, shadows? Elric nodded gravely. Ancient texts warned of corrupted guardians. Lyra muttered, guardians are monsters. They bleed like anything else. Seraphine's voice cut sharp, do not underestimate what you don't comprehend. Solana's tone hardened, we face more than Kaelin. We face history repeating. Rin stared into the glow, trembling. It consumes hope. Only conviction survives. Elric whispered, conviction is our only shield. A low growl echoed through the cavern, chilling every breath. The runes flared bright, shifting violently. Solana raised her weapon, heart pounding. Whatever comes, we face it together. The walls shook as the echoing growl drew closer, heralding the star's first guardian. The guardian emerged from glowing fissures, a towering spectral beast woven of light and shadow. Its roar shattered stone, blue fire igniting the chamber. Ori screamed, it's alive! Rin collapsed, trembling, it's what waits beyond stars. Solana's voice steadied, then it meets us here. Elric raised his staff, energy shields flickering, stand firm. Lyra fired a burst, beams tearing into its light yet barely wounding. Seraphine whispered, almost to herself, every legend was true. The guardian lunged, its claws crashing into stone near Solana. She rolled aside, shouting, keep its focus on me. Ori cried, you'll die. Solana answered, then I'll die protecting what matters. The beast shrieked, its form rippling with unstable power. Elric's shield strained, sparks spraying. Solana gritted her teeth, her heart alight with fury and purpose. We do not yield to fear, we carve our own fate. The guardian's body dissolved into sparks of light, leaving silence heavy in the cavern. Solana panted, lowering her weapon. Elric whispered, it did not die, it yielded. Ori's voice trembled, then it saw something in us. Seraphine smirked faintly, it saw what it needed to see. Rin clutched his chest, his voice broken, it never yields without purpose. Lyra scoffed, or maybe it was weak after all. Solana turned sharply, her eyes like steel. Do not mistake mercy for weakness. The runes flared brighter, shifting patterns into a symbol resembling a star splitting in two. Elric leaned closer. It warns of division, a choice. Ori whispered, save or destroy. Solana steadied her breath, her voice quiet. The burden is mine to carry. The ground shuddered as the runes opened a hidden chamber deeper within. Seraphine's voice dropped low. Now the real test begins. The new chamber opened into a crystal hall, walls reflecting infinite stars. Solana whispered, "It's like the galaxy itself is inside here." Elric's voice shook. "Ancient technology, older than our empires." Ori touched the wall, her reflection splitting into dozens. "It shows us as more than we are." Rin shivered. "Or less." Seraphine's eyes gleamed. The star was always meant to test hearts, not armies. Lyra frowned, muttering under her breath, "Or to grant power to whoever dares take it." Solana stepped into the center, her reflection towering above her. Kaelin's voice echoed through the chamber, though he was nowhere in sight. "Do you finally see, Solana? This was always destiny, mine to claim." The crystal walls pulsed, resonating with his words, as though the chamber itself knew his name. Solana whispered, "Then it knows mine as well." A heavy voice thundered as Kaelin stepped from behind crystal pillars, his armor reflecting the star's glow. Solana raised her weapon. "You followed us." Kaelin smirked. "I was always ahead of you." Lyra froze, her gaze flicking between Kaelin and Solana. Kaelin's eyes locked on her, his voice sharp. "You swore you'd deliver this power." Solana turned, stunned. "Lyra?" Ori gasped, "No." Elric's voice dropped in dread. "The betrayer reveals herself." Lyra tightened her grip on her weapon, her face cold. "You always doubted me, Solana. Now you'll understand why." Seraphine chuckled darkly. "The star feeds on betrayal as much as devotion." Solana's chest burned with betrayal's sting. "Lyra, you were my family." Lyra's smirk faltered for an instant, but Kaelin's command silenced her hesitation. He growled, "The time for family is over." Kaelin stepped closer, his voice cold. "The star responds to strength, and strength means sacrifice." Solana's voice trembled with fury. "Strength is not slaughter." Lyra whispered, "Slaughter is survival." Elric shouted, "No! You abandon humanity with such lies." Seraphine tilted her head, smiling faintly, "And yet humanity craves power above all." Rin growled from the side, "Power consumes. I've seen it take fleets." Ori sobbed, "Why can't you see it will destroy us all?" Solana pointed her weapon at Kaelin, her voice steady, "You will not twist this star into a blade." Kaelin laughed, a sound like breaking steel. "I don't twist, I shape." The chamber shuddered violently, crystal walls splintering with light. Elric whispered, "The star listens to every word." Solana's chest ached, torn between rage and resolve, but her voice rose above the chaos. "Then let it hear the truth." The star's pulse roared like a beating heart, tearing the cavern apart. Shards of crystal hovered in the air, glowing brighter than suns. Kaelin's armor gleamed, his arms outstretched. "I am chosen!" Solana staggered against the pressure, shouting, "No, the star answers to choice, not conquest." Lyra hesitated, torn between loyalty and ambition, whispering, "This isn't what I wanted." Ori screamed, "Stop before it kills us all." Elric struggled to hold his shield emitter, sparks flying. "Solana, the star bonds to conviction." Seraphine's eyes glittered, her voice low and dangerous. "Conviction reshapes galaxies." Rin dropped to his knees, gasping, "It burns everything it touches." Solana's body trembled, yet she forced herself forward, screaming, "Then I'll carry the fire myself." The light engulfed them all, marking the moment everything changed. The chamber collapsed into chaos as the star's light consumed the crystal hall. Solana dragged Ori to cover, shouting, "Stay with me." Elric groaned, his shield flickering before shattering. Kaelin strode through the storm, his laughter echoing. He declared, "The star has chosen its master." Solana gritted her teeth, "You mistake survival for destiny." Lyra turned her weapon toward Solana, her eyes cold. "You were never fit to lead." Ori screamed, "Stop!" Elric staggered forward, raising his staff. "Your betrayal damns us all." Lyra fired, the bolt grazing his arm, sparks flying. Seraphine's calm voice cut through. The star thrives on fracture, every wound feeding it. Solana roared, then it will choke on mine. The ground split open, swallowing crystal shards, revealing molten rivers of blue fire. Kalen's soldiers surged in, weapons drawn. The war for the star had begun. The cavern opened into the night, the star's energy tearing through the desert sky like auroras of fire. Solana led her crew outside, sandstorms rising. Elric wheezed. The star reshapes the world itself. Ori cried, "It's too much, it'll kill us." Kalen emerged behind them, commanding his forces, "Seize them, leave none alive." Lyra hesitated, but her weapon remained trained on Solana. Rin dragged himself from the cavern, scarred face twisted in pain. "You cannot let him bind it. It will unmake everything." Seraphine smirked faintly, "And yet you all danced to its song." Solana's voice shook. "We fight for the galaxy, not for crowns." Kalen sneered, "And I fight to end weakness." Blaster fire cut across the storm as the desert became a battlefield once more. Solana raised her weapon, her voice raw. "Hold the line, no matter the cost." Blaster fire lit the dunes as Solana's team fought desperately. Elric channeled his staff, shielding Ori from an explosive blast. Solana barked orders, "Push them back!" Rin fired a scavenged weapon, his hands shaking. Kalen's soldiers advanced in formation, ruthless. Kalen strode through fire, untouchable. Lyra fought beside him, her shots precise, her loyalty cemented. Solana's voice broke, "Lyra, you're throwing away your soul." Lyra answered coldly, "My soul was never safe under you." Elric fell to one knee, coughing blood. "Solana, do not let him take it." Ori screamed, "We can't win." Solana roared above the storm, "We fight, because surrender is death." Seraphine whispered under her breath, "Unheard, and because the star wants blood." Lightning split the sky as Kalen raised his weapon towards Solana. Kalen's strike cut across the sand, forcing Solana back. Lyra advanced on Elric, her rifle raised. Ori cried, "Please don't." Elric whispered, "Do what you must, Solana." Solana shouted, "No one else dies tonight." She lunged, firing at Kalen, but his armor absorbed the blow. Kalen smirked, weakness. He slammed her aside, dust exploding around her. Rin crawled toward her, gasping, "Get up, we cannot fall now." Elric strained to rise, blood streaking his robes. "Protect the child, protect hope." Seraphine's voice slid like silk, "Hope dies easiest." Lyra's hands trembled on her rifle, hesitation breaking her mask. Kalen barked, "Finish them, Lyra." Solana staggered to her feet, her voice ragged but fierce. She won't, because she still remembers what family means. The star pulsed, its glow sensing with her words. The storm peaked, energy tearing dunes apart. Kalen raised his blade high, shouting, "The galaxy bows tonight." Solana faced him, body broken yet unyielding. "Not while I breathe." Elric collapsed fully, whispering, "Do not fail us." Ori sobbed, holding his hand. "Stay, please." Lyra's tears finally broke through, her weapon shaking. She whispered, "I can't." Kalen growled, "You swore to me." Rin roared, firing wildly, "No more lies." Seraphine's eyes gleamed, her voice soft but chilling. "The star will claim its price." Solana screamed, surging forward, "It will claim me, not them." The crater erupted, a tidal wave of blue fire sweeping the battlefield. Soldiers vanished in its fury. Kalen's figure stood in the blaze, furious yet unbroken. Solana fell to her knees, gasping, "This is only the beginning." The galaxy itself trembled with her words. The desert burned under the star's fury, dunes reshaped into molten rivers. Solana staggered to her feet, staring at Kalen, who stood unbroken in the inferno. She shouted, "You can't claim what was never yours." Kalen smirked, "Power bends to those strong enough to seize it." Ori cried, clutching Elric's lifeless form, "He died believing in you, Solana." Lyra lowered her weapon, torn, "I can't follow him anymore." Kalen snapped, "Weakness has no place in my vision." Rin growled, scarred body trembling. Your vision already destroyed countless lives. Seraphine's eyes gleamed as she whispered, this is the moment it all converges. Solana clenched her fists, her voice breaking. Then I'll bear its fire to end yours. The star pulsed violently, answering her defiance. Kalen raised his blade of light, then prove you deserve to breathe. Kalen charged his blade, cutting arcs of fire through the night. Solana met him, their weapons clashing in bursts of light. Sparks tore the air as she shouted, you will not decide our fate. Kalen's strength pushed her back, his voice a growl. You were always too afraid to lead. Rin fired from the side, distracting Kalen for a moment. Solana countered, striking sparks against his armor. Ori screamed, Solana! Lyra ran forward, firing at Kalen's soldiers instead of Solana, her betrayal shifting. Kalen snarled. Traitor! Lyra cried. I finally chose family. Seraphine's smile widened. The star drinks deeply tonight. Solana's chest ached, but her spirit flared brighter. She pushed forward with every ounce of strength. I'm not afraid anymore. The ground cracked as the star's energy surged. A massive fissure split the battlefield, separating allies. Solana barely held footing as Kalen laughed. The star reshapes the galaxy in my image. Solana spat back. It mirrors conviction, not tyranny. Rin fell to his knees, clutching his chest. It consumes me again. Ori rushed to him, crying, stay with us. Lyra fired relentlessly at Kalen's troops, her voice fierce. We're not your pawns anymore. Seraphine whispered with delight, every choice tightens destiny's knot. Kalen struck, his blade grazing Solana's side. Pain surged, but she forced a scream of defiance. This ends with me. The fissure widened, molten light rising, forcing them into the final clash. Kalen lifted Solana by the throat, his blade poised to strike. He growled, the galaxy will remember me, not you. Solana's voice rasped, then it will remember a monster. Lyra screamed, firing at Kalen, but his armor deflected the shots. Rin crawled forward, clutching a detonator. If I can't stop him, I'll stop his army. Ori cried, no, don't. Rin's scarred face twisted in pain. This is my redemption. He triggered the blast, obliterating Kalen's soldiers in fire. Kalen roared in fury, dropping Solana. Seraphine's eyes glimmered. The tragic hero finds his stage. Solana staggered up, tears in her eyes. Your sacrifice won't be wasted, Rin. Kalen turned back to her, his rage incandescent. Then you die with him, he roared, charging. Rin's sacrifice tore the battlefield apart, fire swallowing Kalen's troops. Solana rose, blood on her face, her weapon glowing with the star's light. She shouted, this is where it ends, Kalen. He met her charge, their blades colliding, sparks blazing like suns. Ori screamed, Solana. Lyra fought at her side, firing at Kalen's strikes. Kalen roared, you can't defy destiny. Solana's voice was thunder. I am destiny's choice, not its prisoner. Their clash shook the desert, the star pulsing violently with every blow. Seraphine whispered, unseen by all, whichever wins, the galaxy is remade. Solana drove her blade deep, Kalen's roar echoing as the battlefield drowned in light. She collapsed to her knees, gasping, the fire is mine to bear. The star's final pulse rippled across the horizon. The storm of blue fire receded, leaving silence over shattered dunes. Solana knelt, her weapon dimming, her chest heaving. Ori touched her shoulder, whispering, you're alive. Solana's eyes filled with grief. At what cost? Lyra approached slowly. Guilt etched across her face. I chose too late. But I chose. Solana turned, her voice sharp but weary. You still have to live with it. Rin's lifeless body lay in the dust, his sacrifice burned into their memory. Seraphine walked forward, calm, her tone chilling. A galaxy reborn always asks for blood. Solana's voice cracked. It asked for too much. Ori clung to her side, whispering, Elric believed in you. He still does. Solana closed her eyes, the weight of loss pressing heavy. she murmured. Then I must carry what they no longer can. The survivors gathered at the crater's edge where the star's core now floated, pulsing faintly like a dying heart. Solana whispered, "It waits for a final choice." Lyra's voice was unsteady. "Destroy it before Kalen's kind rises again." Ori's hands shook, but what if it could heal instead of destroy? Seraphine tilted her head, her voice silk. Hope and ruin share the same seed. Solana stared at the glowing fragment, torn by its power. She said softly, "It could end wars or ignite them." Lyra snapped, "You've seen enough death. Don't gamble more lives." Ori cried, "Then let me decide, because I still believe in something better." Solana turned, her heart breaking at the innocence in her words. She whispered, "This is a burden no child should carry." The star pulsed brighter as if sensing their debate. Solana raised her weapon, whispering, "I will end this." Lyra stepped forward, "Do it before it's too late." But Ori blocked her, shouting, "No, it deserves a chance." Seraphine smiled faintly. "The child understands what the old cannot." Solana trembled, memories of Elric and Rin flooding her mind. She said, "They died believing in me, not in this power." Ori's tears streamed. "Then honor them by believing in something too." Lyra growled, "She's blinded by hope, don't listen." The ground shook, the core surging like a heartbeat. Solana screamed, torn between grief and destiny, "I cannot be both savior and destroyer." The desert echoed her voice, carrying it across the horizon. The star's energy erupted, projecting visions of countless galaxies destroyed or reborn. Solana fell to her knees, clutching her head. Ori cried, "It's showing us the future." Lyra staggered back, muttering, "Too much power for anyone." Seraphine's eyes shone with delight. "It reveals destiny's fabric." Solana saw Elric's smile, Rin's sacrifice, and Kalen's fury within the visions. Her voice cracked. "It wants me to choose." Ori screamed, "Then choose hope." Lyra hissed, "Choose survival." Seraphine whispered, "Choose power." Solana's chest heaved, her voice rising. "I choose to carry the burden so no one else must." She raised her weapon high, glowing with the star's light. The visions shattered into silence. The star dimmed as Solana struck, its power dissolving into the dawn sky. Silence followed, broken only by wind. Solana collapsed, whispering, "It's done." Ori knelt beside her, "You saved us." Lyra lowered her head, guilt in her voice. "I betrayed you, yet you still carried us through." Seraphine stepped closer, her voice low. "The galaxy will remember this day, but it won't remember peace for long." Solana raised her head, her eyes hollow yet resolute. "Then let it remember sacrifice." The survivors stood at the crater's edge as the sun rose, casting golden light over scars of war. Solana whispered one last line into the quiet, "The star is gone, but its fire lives within us." The wind carried her words into silence, a promise and a warning.